Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Exodus, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Steven.
Hello, gentlemen. I'm back. I'm back, everyone. I'm back from beautiful, sunny Charleston, South Carolina, and man, it was a great trip. It was a lot of fun, and I got to see my extended family. It was a real good time. How have you been, Brad? How are you doing?
I am so glad you're back. We got so many complaints about last week's episode, and you not
There
being
is
here.
no way that you got complaints. There's no way. You did a fine job, Brad. Anyone who says that Brad did not do a fine job, you've got a problem with me, and why don't you let that one marinate? How are you doing, Steven?
I'm fine, and your sunny Charleston, South Carolina is now very rainy Charleston, South Carolina today.
I dodged it. It was also rainy in Charleston while I was gone, and it was sunny this whole weekend. It is supposed to rain quite a bit the next week, though. So, oh well. I'll be working outside and all of that. But enough about our issues. Let's talk about some MCP stuff. Let's begin by talking about events that are coming up in the near future. Coming up next Saturday, which is, oh man, I should have had that up. Saturday, the 31st of May, there's going to be a tournament at Fabricators Forge in Pittsburgh. This is the kickoff for the Appalachian Cup. So I want to see as many people as possible there. I'm going, Brad's going, I'm pretty sure Borka is going. So we're going to have a team, we're going to have a squad that's heading up there, and we're going to have a good time. A legally mandated good time, everyone. So this will be fun. We're going to start this thing off with a bang. Then let's move into June. Coming up on June the 21st, there is going to be a local tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. That is our local game store, and I plan on being there. Well, I don't think I have any reason that I can't make it, so I will be there. And so come on down. This is just a local event, so this is not an Appalachian Cup tournament. That is for the following month. Is there anything else? Is there anything else, Brad, that I should call out? I don't think there is.
I don't know of anything.
Okay, well, we have a lot to discuss today, and the lion's share of that is that there has been an errata. We know what the character errata is for the characters that are coming out in the near future in the boxes that they are shipping. So, as many of you know, AMG is taking the opportunity of reprinting some of their models to do some character adjustments on some of their older characters. We've already talked about the change to Gambit in a recalibration matrix, and now we know what all of the changes are in the May update. So I think that the best way for me to do this is to kick this over to Brad to discuss character by character what changed. So, Brad.
I have to do this segment because Fred doesn't know. So the first thing that shows up in the PDF are 5 Team Tactics cards, and 4 of them are just like slight word clarification changes. The only one that actually changed is Mutant Trader, and it has been changed, and I guess it could just be clarification, but it really feels more like they changed it. That no matter how many targets the beam hits, he can only take 1 damage once all the attacks are done, instead of possibility of taking 1 per target.
Who is Mutant Trader a card for?
You have to have Gambit in your team, and then Bishop makes the attack.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and you take a damage if you roll double wilds, but it's if you roll double wilds in any attacks, he takes 1 damage once. Now, and that's it. That's
okay.
That's it for the team Tactics cards.
Like that's a very unlikely thing to occur anyway.
Well,
But all right.
if you roll a crit and a skull, you change all your skulls into wilds.
Oh, into wilds. That's what it. Okay. All
That's
right.
one
I
of the
see.
things the thing does. It has a bunch of triggers. And no one's going to play this card. No one's going to play any of the cards on here. I had forgot how bad Magnetic Crush was until I saw it in this document. It's a terrible card. So
Okay. All right.
these cards, they're clarified for people who want to play them and fun games that don't matter.
Right. All right. So those are the team tactics cards that have changed, but there have been a lot of changes to characters as
Yeah,
well.
I think there's something like 16 characters, but most of them got pretty minor changes. So first
Right.
up is Bullseye. His free gainer went from range 4 to range 3.
I mean, let's be honest. Brandon hates this. I think that this is probably fine. Bullseye is an interesting case because he was originally a threat value 3 character with an extra health on both sides. And that he was bad in that role. But as a threat value 2 character, he became one of the best threat value 2 characters in the game. I think he's the only character who's changed threat over the course of the entirety of this game.
Yeah, I think so.
I might be wrong.
No, I
Okay.
think that's
Uh, I think that this change probably needed to happen. He was a little bit too good as a 2 threat. Like being able to reach out at range 4 and do a guaranteed damage was huge. That's a huge benefit. And the fact that that is now range 3 instead of range 4 is it's a pretty significant debuff, but it's one that I think probably needed to happen. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about this, Brad?
I think he's fine. I mean, normally no one's gonna let you just sit there at range 4 and attack them anyway, so it probably doesn't matter very
Yeah.
much.
And Steven, what do you think
Oh,
about this?
I had a game with a Bullseye, in fact, and we used the new rules, and it was fine. It was one of those things where his playstyle becomes a little bit different since he doesn't have that safety net of being that far away. So,
Okay. All right. Well, that's Bullseye's change. What's the next change, Brad?
Next up is Doctor Strange. He was one of the most changed ones. So first of all, he gained a health on his injured side, going up to 7 from 6. His free attack now has a shield pierce, which is interesting because if he rolls shields, he gets an extra power, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that's not too bad for him. We're gonna do that part last. His heal is now range 3 instead of range 2. His thing that adds dice to his defense rolls now adds dice to dodge rolls as well. And his
Okay.
reroll can reroll dodge. So all of the extra dice and the rerolls and the healing all make him last a lot longer and buff your people a lot more. So all that seems really good. And the big thing, he's got completely different leadership.
Right. They completely reworked his leadership.
So now, once per turn, when you either deal damage or the target is threat 5 or more, so you'll know if it's going to work or not, you can use the leadership and give the target hex. This is better in all ways except you can't attack their weakest defense anymore.
Right. I think this is a definitely a benefit. This is a good thing. Uh, the leadership that he used to have for defenders was rarely ever taken. Do you get like was he getting played much at all
No,
after Daredevil got yeah.
no.
So everyone plays Daredevil's leadership. Do you think that this new leadership is going to make him more of a choice than previous?
So it puts defenders in a very interesting place because Daredevil's leadership is really good against wide teams, and Doctor Strange's leadership is now really good against tall teams.
Um, I see. Okay.
So it's almost like if you can guess what your opponent's going to do, you can kind of lean into a counter strategy, which I think is interesting. If if
I
even if not good, it's at least interesting.
Yes. Yeah. It sounds that is definitely something that is worth investigating. Steven, what do you think about it? Steven, you've definitely played Doctor Strange more than either one of us. What do you think about all the changes?
Yeah, Doctor Strange is the leader I started out with after I got done with the original core box. So, um, I actually like it because the problem with the first iteration of his leadership was that you had to spend the power and change your attack type upon targeting somebody. So this meant that bodyguards and taunts could mess up your day. So, um, in that aspect, this is a whole lot better. You see if you've done damage, and then you can proc the leadership, or if it's a threat 5. So there's definitely a place, and the thing is, I think this brings about a new style of defenders. So Hawkeye's back probably with Doctor Strange. Silver Sable's probably back with Doctor Strange, considering that they have long distance attacks and can get those hexes and other conditions out on characters. So
Mm-hmm.
um, it's a
Clea,
like
who
like
we're
Brad's
Clea, who we're about to talk to about, is also a natural fit with uh, this
right,
new leadership.
exactly. So all of a sudden this looks more and more like a long range team for Doctor Strange and an up close and personal team for um, Daredevil.
Yeah.
So
Daredevil's leadership inherently wants to be close to the enemy. I think by its rules, it works better if you're surrounded by enemies. And this, you're right. What this does is it allows for long range defenders play, which is really interesting.
right
I
now,
okay,
it's not to say that you can't do up close like Luke Cage can be like at his range too and punch somebody and do a damage and still get the hex. So unlike
right?
Daredevil's leadership, you're not locked into having fisticuffs. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah. You're not in imperative to get as close as possible, like it is with Daredevil's leadership.
correct.
All right. Well, interesting. I think that this probably definitely needed to happen, and it kind of makes me interested in playing a little bit of Doctor Strange. Uh, all right, Brad. I think that's it for Doctor Strange's changes.
Yep. Up next is
Let's
Clea.
move on to our next.
Yep. Next is Clea. She gained a health on her healthy side, so she's now 6 instead of 5. The triggers on her spender became easier to trigger. And now I never saw Clea on the table, so I have no idea what they were before. But Stagger is now only crit wild hit. I think it had an additional trigger, like a uh, block or something. So
Oh man.
easier to trigger.
Okay.
Her ability that used to be the same as Red Skull, where she gains 3 power, roll 5 dice, and Takes the damage for each skull has been changed. So now, no matter how many skulls she gets, she takes 2 damage, which on average is probably more damage, but she can't just
Yeah.
like kill herself.
Okay.
She
Okay.
can't
So
just
she can't roll 5 skulls and die.
yeah,
She just if she rolls 1 skull, she takes 2 damage.
yeah. And
Okay.
yeah. So it's locked in so you always know how much damage you're going to take, which is at least more consistent.
Yeah.
Her teleport is now range 4 placed within 2 instead of range 3 placed within 2. So, and just a reminder, that one is a character can be placed by this superpower only once per turn. And
So she can do it multiple
she
times.
can do it multiple times to her and her allies. So it was.
That's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Is that the longest range teleport in the game? The ability to move someone who is range 4 away from you as opposed to range 3?
Maybe. I think the Master of the World has the same range on his.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, he doesn't.
Is
It's
his
the
only
original
range
Red
3?
Skull.
Original Red
Yeah,
Skull has the same range. So it's been
the
in the
new
game
Red-
since the very beginning, but
the new Red Skull is range 2, teleport 3.
oh,
It's the same as Sorcerer Supreme.
okay. And then she got a brand new superpower, so I'm just going to read it. Talons of Farala, I don't know. It costs 3. When this character or another allied character within range 4 of this character makes an attack during the create attack dice pool step, this character can use this superpower. The character adds 2 dice to its attack roll. If that attack deals damage and the defender has threat 5 or more, after the attack is resolved, the defender gains the judgment special condition. This superpower can be used only once per turn.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's a new character who can put out judgment. I think
Yes.
this makes 3 characters in the
I
game
think
that
that's
can do
right. Judgment is a really good condition that's really hard to activate.
Yeah.
Plus, even if you don't put out Judgment, you're adding 2 dice to attack rolls, which is pretty good.
Yes. Yes. That is excellent. That changes her role in the game, it seems like.
Yeah.
4 characters can put out Judgment.
Oh, 4. Who? So it's Scarlet Witch, Ronan the Accuser, and who's the other one that I'm missing?
Nova.
Oh, Nova.
Nova
Yeah, I
does?
forgot about him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll take
like,
your
'cause
word on
Nova
that
does,
one.
Nova does a little bit of everything.
So,
Okay.
just circling back to the Doctor Strange of it all, the fact that she has specific anti-threat 5 tech as well seems like she just a natural pick if you think they are going tall. Because if you can give them Hex and Judgment on an attack,
That's pretty dang good.
that's pretty good.
Pretty dang good.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. To do that, it costs her. Is that a 2 cost power
3.
or a 3 cost?
3.
3. So it'll cost her 3, and the person who's attacking 1.
No.
But
Doctor Strange's new leadership is free.
oh gosh, I forgot. I didn't realize that little. Okay, never mind.
It's free
Oh
now.
man. For the record, that makes it a lot better than the previous iteration.
Yeah. The like I said, the only downside is you can't like attack their weakest defense, but that's fine. I think that it more than makes up for it.
I think so too. Okay, so Clea got a lot better. I played against her. I think a grand total of once. I think Les played her once, in a convocation list, and I don't even remember what she did. I got completely annihilated in that game, but it wasn't her who did that. It was everyone else.
Yeah, I hope to see her in more lists now because obviously she's better. Like,
She was, let's be honest, a pretty poor character
yeah.
in her previous iteration, and she needed a buff. And this sounds like she got a big buff.
Mm-hmm. Helps that she's
All right.
only threat 3 too.
Yeah, yeah. Does her ability to give 2 more dice stack with Baron Mordos? I think it does.
Yes, they are called different things.
Yeah. That'd be. Convocation can do a lot of stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of damage. All right, let's move on to the next character.
Other Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, he got just one minor change. His Eye of Agamotto, which is he can reroll dice. He can reroll and dodge now.
Okay, it's the same change as with Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Doctor Strange didn't really need a buff, but they did it for consistency.
Okay.
Are we done? We moving on?
Is there anything else we need to talk about? I don't think so. That's a minor. It's not minor. It does matter, but it is not something that requires a whole lot of discussion, I think. So let's move on.
Next in the document is Cosmic Ghost Rider, and they didn't change anything. They just finally gave us a card to print.
Okay, it's the updated card from when they changed him
last
a
time.
year ago.
Yeah. That's all it is. Which I appreciate finally getting it because I had to Photoshop for Cerebro an updated card when they did that because they never gave us a card. Next is X-23. She had 2 changes. Her Frenzy, which is her extra attack when she dazes or KOs someone. The timing changed, and discussing this with some people, they didn't know it worked the way it did before, and that now it's fixed. Before, you had to already have the power on her before you made the previous attack to pay for this. So, like, you couldn't gain the power from her builder and then pay for the attack. You had to already have the power. Now, you can gain the power from her builder and then pay for Frenzy. So they fixed that so that it's just easier to do.
I think that's probably fine. X-23 is a good character already, and that is a buff, but it's not like a huge buff. That's just a correction to the way of the timing of things.
They also took off the adamantium skeleton rule on her card, so she always counts as size 2. Period.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can now push her with impact webbing.
She could be pushed with impact webbing anyway. Hers was only on throws. So now, like, Beast and Storm can throw her and couldn't before, but she does less damage when you throw her into her allies. So that it was a mistake that they put that on her card in the first place because she didn't have adamantium bones when they printed her. She, like, a couple months after she came out in the game, finally got adamantium bones in the comics. But since then, she's basically been called Wolverine. And this is very clearly X-23 from before that. So I think they just took it off because... they're planning to print a second Laura Kinney who's called Wolverine and put the rule back on. I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay. So they kind of predicted her getting adamantium bones?
Yeah, I think they just didn't realize it was only her claws. I just don't think they knew just that she was different than Wolverine. And then the same thing kind of happened in the comics. Someone said something about her adamantium skeleton, and then they realized it was a mistake, but they were resurrecting people, so they made it an in-universe mistake that the five didn't realize that she didn't have adamantium bones when they resurrected her and gave her adamantium bones.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny that they made a like real life mistake. First of all, that two different like companies, AMG and Marvel, made the same mistake in real life, and then they made it an in-universe mistake, which is funny.
That is funny. I want to throw it to Steven. Steven, is there anything over the past few characters that you want to talk about? I kind of have been running past you.
Well, no, that's fine. I don't have that information in front of me like Brad. Also, the change to Clea, I think, is significant, but that 2 physical defense is still going to get her. So,
Yeah.
I don't know how much play she sees, to tell you the truth.
Okay. They did increase her health from 5 to 6, which is a buff. That's a pretty big buff.
And it matters a little less what her physical defense is in Convocation specifically.
Correct.
Because of the book.
Well, it does matter on dodges.
It does matter on
dodges. That's true. That's true.
Ironbound books is only for physical attacks, not things being thrown at you. So there is that. As for X-23, I could give or take. Doctor Strange consistency, that's always nice. So, but other than that, I don't have any. My opinions are kind of muted, right? Yeah, kind of muted compared. I mean, there are characters coming up that there is a whole lot that I would want to talk about. So
okay. All right, so that was X-23. That was her changes. Brad, who is the next character?
Angela. Her only change is similar to X-23, where she can gain power from her builder to pay for the extra attack ability that she has, Angelic Assassin. So it just once again made it easier to do that ability. And that's her only change. Yeah.
Okay, I think that we can move on to the next character then.
Okay, Heimdall. His all-seeing eyes, which is the thing that lets him lets him pay for other people to re-roll 2 of the dice when they're attacking, defending, dodging, doing a crisis card or a team tactics card. Changed to range 4. It was range 3 before.
Okay, that's significant.
It's a much bigger range.
Do you think that means that Heimdall is going to see more play?
No.
Okay, I think the same. I think that's not a significant enough change to make me want to take Heimdall.
And I don't even think he's a bad character. He's
not. It's just in Asgard you have access to people like Scourge and Valkyrie at the 3 threat value, who will do a lot more on the table than Heimdall will.
Yeah. People who are playing Heimdall in Steve 1 are probably pretty happy with this change, though.
Ooh. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next character.
Who is Bishop? And they changed the timing on when he takes damage from having too much power to the cleanup phase instead of the power phase, meaning that he won't flip and have 4 damage a lot of times. But if you leave him on 1 with a bunch of power, he will daze or KO himself.
Does that occur after scoring?
After scoring, yes.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah. This is definitely a plus. Like, this is definitely an improvement over what it was before. It's going to come up way less often. It's going to be less impactful for the game. Um, and I love Bishop anyway, so anything to make him a little bit better.
Steven, do you have anything to add about Bishop?
No, it's the same thing that happened with the cube damage. It was the same timing window. Bishop had the old timing window of that, so
Right.
Yeah.
so that's what changed.
Yep. Yeah, and there
Okie
was
dokie.
there were rare cases where, like, on his front side he'd be at 5 health and 5 out of 6 health, and he'd have 8 power, and you'd lose him for an entire turn, and you can't do that anymore.
Right.
That
was stuck.
never happened to me, but it would have been devastating if it had.
Uh-huh.
The biggest problem with Bishop and one other change that's coming up is I have nice foil cards of them, and now I
And
can't.
those are now obsolete.
Yeah, now they're wrong. All right. Next character is Colossus. Colossus got several changes, and I've heard at least one person say that he now feels like he does in the comics and movies and television show, and they're right. So his builder used to have wild, they lose a power. Now it's wild push, size 4 or less, short.
Away?
No.
No? Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So he just pushes up to size 4 any direction he wants on a wild.
That's pretty good.
It gets better, Fred. His X-Slam spender used to be wild stagger. It is now wild throw before damage, size 4, short.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Before you ask, Fred, no, it does not say away.
Okay.
Omnidirectional size 4 throw on a wild. And then his big brother, which is his taunt, his bodyguard, it changed. So if the attacking model is in range 2, it works just like before. Colossus takes the hit. If they are not in range 2, but they are in range 4, instead he can move towards that character short.
Oh, interesting. So it added an effect onto it where he can close in on them if he is outside of range to do the bodyguard.
Yeah. So if for some reason, because they can't push him, but if like he gets thrown out of bodyguard range, he could pay for the bodyguard to get back into bodyguard range to then bodyguard the second attack, assuming he has enough power.
Most of the time, you're gonna use this just to get back on points.
Yes.
Which is excellent.
Yeah.
Like that's a great ability.
And then those are all his changes. So.
Oh man, he changed a lot. He got a lot better, and he was good to begin with.
Yeah, he was. I didn't mind the stagger. I never rolled it when I needed to, but I was always trying to stagger some big guy, and now I can just throw that big guy. That's fine.
Right. Right. He's got a size 4 throw. And on a wild, how many dice does he throw on the X Slam? Do you know off the top of your head?
I'm looking right at it, Fred.
Okay. That is pretty likely to get a wild. It's not like guaranteed, but
which is why I'm so mad how many times I've missed it. But whatever. And then like
Steven. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
The throw would have been a nerf in Apocalypse specifically, except that the spender still gives out stun automatically. So it's fine that he doesn't give out 2 conditions and he still only gives out 1 because that's still a token if he's Pestilence.
Right. Steven, what do you think about this change?
He is now going to be a menace
I agree.
because you can't push him off points.
No, you cannot.
You have to physically have somebody who can throw or advance him. There is no more, just kind of sauntering up and, you know, pushing him away. That doesn't work. And with what he has, his problem was that, let's say he was going against um, somebody who could throw him like a Hulk, right? Well, he couldn't displace the Hulk with with his kit previously, but now he can. And so Hulk has to waste power to jump back in, or he has to move. So effectively, it's like a stagger. So yeah, he just became significantly better.
Yeah, I really like this change. This, or I don't like it because I will be playing against him probably pretty frequently. Oh man.
Not if you
Okay,
keep playing
Colossus got
Web
a lot better.
Warriors.
I think why not?
Because there's
I
just
know
better
you've got a
models. Yeah, there's just better models
yeah.
to take.
Right. Okay. Is that it on Colossus? I think it
That's
is.
Colossus.
Let's move on to the next one.
This is a change you're gonna see. Magic now has 1 extra health on her healthy side. Her
Okay.
energy attack, her range 4 energy attack, has a new trigger. It is Crit Wild Hex.
Okay.
And she's now immune to Incinerate.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. For going into limbo all the time.
Yeah, and that's it.
I,
That's her
I
changes.
I mean, it's a buff. It's actually a big buff. They gave her extra health. I think that her biggest problem is that she was so fragile.
It sure was.
So
She
giving
still
her an
is.
extra health, yeah, yeah. She's got 6 health now instead of 5, which is a big improvement.
I also think they changed the name of one of her innate abilities, but I never did actually check before I changed the cards on Cerebro.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it used to be called Sorcerer Supreme of Limbo, and now it's called Scrying Mirrors of Limbo. I'm pretty sure they changed the name and didn't mention it, but whatever.
I
Well,
don't know
a,
the
lo-
answer to that.
a lot of people are speculating that there is a second version of her coming out.
Mm. She
All right.
she's had
Oh,
a lot of different like versions of her in the comics, so that wouldn't be that surprising.
fun fact, she can now use her card on herself, and she can get pretty far if she has 6 power.
I don't
The Journey Through Limbo card.
Yeah, not get incinerated.
I don't think she can target herself with that card. I'm looking it up
Oh,
right now. Uh, choose another character within 2 of Magic.
okay, all right.
Yeah,
I,
she
I
can.
was just thinking.
Yeah, yeah. No, that
That would
she
be insane
literally
movement.
cannot target herself.
All
That would
right,
have been
let's move
funny.
to the next character.
Next is Nightcrawler. They only mentioned 1 change on the change document, but there are actually 3 changes on this card. So the one on the document is they updated the timing of his trigger for his builder and his free teleport after every attack to be after
You
the
mean his spender?
nope.
Oh, okay.
Hit
Oh, okay. Sorry.
the stun on his builder,
Okay,
and then the
okay.
free teleport after each attack. Now they're instead of after damage, which is a thing that only existed on his card, it now says after the attack is resolved, effectively not changing anything.
Okay,
So,
okay.
uh,
Just
the
correcting what was an error, I think, probably.
just they created a new step that caused a lot of people to ask questions, and then they just fixed it so that it now works like people can read the card and understand how it works. The changes they don't mention is now you have to do damage and be outside of 2 to give stun. It didn't have to damage before. And
Okay.
the other change is when he's within range 1 of a size 2 train or bigger, he now just gains stealth, which means things
Which
that ignore stealth now ignore that.
okay, that's
And
probably a good change.
and they didn't before. So now Storm might still be the only one that has uncancelable stealth.
Doesn't
Cassandra
Cassandra
Nova.
Nova?
Oh,
Yeah,
Cassandra Nova probably does too. Yeah, but no one plays Cassandra Nova.
Yeah.
So basically, Nightcrawler got nerfed.
Okay, but it was like cleaning up some of the wording and changing the way that his superpower works. But yes, it was a nerf.
It was a nerf because now you have to do damage to give stun, and you can ignore his stealth. Those are nerfs.
Not major nerfs. These
They're
are not
nerfs.
big changes.
The next character got nerfed too.
Okay. Who's the next character?
Agent Venom.
Okay.
So the thing that cleared conditions now makes a shake action instead.
Okay.
That means
Is that it? Is that the only?
that's the only change. That means there are 2 characters in the game that can prevent him from removing conditions that he just ignored before.
Oh, Scarlet Witch.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
If you get the
and I
next,
don't know the other one.
yeah, if you got it, I'd be surprised. Crystal.
Oh, Crystal. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they specifically prevent you from taking a shake action.
To shake particular
Right.
conditions, yeah. So he can't just shake
So
whatever condition he wants anymore.
that is a extreme corner case. Is that the only thing that changes on his about him?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's a nerf in the most extreme corner case, but it's not really a nerf. It's
yeah,
just
you're
cleaning
right.
up the wording.
Nightcrawler got way bigger nerfs.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
Nightcrawler. Oh, sorry.
it
Go
just
ahead,
makes
Steven.
it consistent with Blade's power. That's all.
It does make it consistent.
Yeah.
It's how it should have read from
Okay.
the beginning.
All right. Who's next?
Next is Gambit. We have already talked about Gambit, but
We have.
Gambit, we now got a nice looking clean card. He's way better. We recalibrated him already and everything. Go back to that episode. Then we have Toad. So Toad is now 4/4 instead of 5/3 health. And
Okay.
his wild on his builder is no longer wild push, it's wild poison.
Okay, good. He can't push you off of points anymore.
He cannot do that.
Good. Good. I mean, poison is still kind of bad, but
Yeah, and it's whatever.
it would be bad to receive. But I'd rather be poisoned than pushed off of a point.
Huh?
Okay. What do you think about this, Steven? What do you think about the Toad change?
Well, along with Bullseye, it now gives people a little bit of pause as to what choices they're going to make for their 2 that they're going to put into their faction or their roster, I should say. Especially if they don't have a 2 within faction. The other thing is that he is now exclusively for the extract game. He can't play both the extract and the secure game because that push on that tongue let him do both.
Yep.
So I like that.
I agree.
I like that direction.
Okay. All right. That is Toad. And him going from 5 to 4 on his front and 3 to 4 on his back. It was weird that he was like that. That was a huge swing in health that he used to have.
Yeah, I don't think my Toad ever survived a single attack on his back. He would be attacked once and die every time. And now maybe he'll live on his back.
And maybe he'll be easier to take out on his front. That's the thing that I always found, is that he was just like weirdly impossible to kill on his front. You know what this does? This makes it more likely that he doesn't get to do his slip reaction. And I'm all for that. I'm all for it. Being someone who plays against him regularly. All right, let's move on to the next character.
The last character is Carnage.
Yeah.
He gained a health on his front and paint the town red change. So that is when he dazes or KOs a model, he gets an extra attack. First of all, he had the same
He gets
timing.
to move and attack.
Yeah. The same timing change where he could do his builder, make the power he needs to then do the paint the town red, just like Angela and X-23. And
he caught a big buff. I think.
In addition to that, on that free attack, he gets 2 extra dice.
It's as if he has the sadistic glee superpower active, but without the negative debuff.
Correct.
I think that he just got his place. One, he now has a total of 15 health for a 4-threat model. Is that the most in the game? I think it is.
For a 4-threat,
I think it's the most health for a 4-threat. Yeah. And has the most physical defense in the game. He has 5 physical defense. I don't think there's anyone else who has 5 physical defense.
No, I don't think
his
so.
other defenses are 1 and 1, so obviously those are targetable things. But man, oh man, I think that Carnage got a lot better. Steven, what are your thoughts here? I think, is this one of the ones that you really wanted to talk about?
Yes, it is.
All right.
In fact, I got a game in with him yesterday.
Okay.
So I will save. Should I save the content for that? Or
I would say just talk about whatever you want. Like, say whatever you want to say right now.
Spider Foes now has the attrition piece that they were looking for. This guy, ooh. We can't forget the automatic bleeds. Those are significant also. But this guy just he's not an every game piece, but if your opponent's not careful, he will run the table. Literally, he will eat 2s and 3s and some 4s alive. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's the piece that I'm going to put in. I mean, especially if you see something like a Web Warriors list that wants to go wide, he will just he'll go through it like crazy. And the thing that people forget is that you don't explode your crits.
Right, when you're defending
on top of all this, it's just like, oh my god, you have to be kidding. So
I think that Carnage, we were discussing it in our meta, that Carnage was really close to being like overpowered. Like, they could change an adjustment to him too much of one would make him really powerful because he was right on the edge there. He's a weird case where he's kind of a glass cannon who either does the Lord's work in a game or just dies and does nothing. And I think that what they've done is they made it more likely that he does the Lord's work. And he may be the one who has the biggest buff. No, Clea probably, but he definitely caught a tremendous buff in this. Just the little bit that they did. You're gonna see him now, which you weren't really seeing him very much previously. He will hit the table now and be scary. He will be a scary model to play against. That is for sure. Brad, do you have anything to add about Carnage?
Not right now, no.
Okay. All right. Is that it for the characters that have been errated?
That's it.
I think
That's
it
all
is.
of them.
Okay. Alrighty. Then I think the next thing that we need to discuss about new stuff is Phoenix received 2 new tactics cards that we need to discuss. Those tactics cards are Flames of Life and the White Hot Room. I can start at Flames of Life. It is an unaffiliated active tactics card. During her activation, an allied Phoenix, as in the front of her card, may discard 1 Phoenix token to play this card. Choose any number of enemy characters with the Incinerate special condition. Each chosen enemy character loses the Incinerate special condition. For each enemy character that lost the Incinerate special condition, choose a different allied character. Each chosen allied character removes 1 damage or gains 1 power. There is a different effect if she is Phoenix Unleashed during her activation, as in the back of her card. She may gain 1 Phoenix token to play this card. Each character within range 2 of a Flame Pillar and each character within range 2 of Phoenix Unleashed gains the Incinerate special condition. Phoenix Unleashed gains 1 power for each character that gained the Incinerate special condition using this effect. That specifies each character, so that can be allies that gain Incinerate as well. Okay, Brad, what are your thoughts on this?
It's fine. Like, I don't think you're gonna use it for the top part. There's just not gonna be that many people with Incinerate probably, but the bottom part's pretty good. It might mean that she can do a second beam on her turn, which was literally impossible before. So
Right, because she would gain the power to do it.
yeah, in the middle of her activation. So that could be good. Just giving her extra power is good, even if it's not for a beam. I think this card's fine.
Okay, all right. Steven, what do you think about this card?
Yeah, tactics cards are tight, so the utility of this is probably not enough to take it in your 5, much less include it in your 10. So,
Right. Okay. Okay, the other card that was added is the White Hot Room. This is an unaffiliated reactive not superpower tactics card. When an allied Phoenix Unleashed would be KO'd, she may play this card. When this card is played, set it near the battlefield instead of discarding it. Put 2 power on this card. If this card has been played during the power phase, remove 1 power from this card. When the last power on this card is removed, choose an allied character and place Phoenix within range 2 of it. Phoenix is now part of the squad, then discard this card. Okay, so you can bring her back. You can bring her back after she self-destructs. The problem is that she comes back 2 rounds later. Right?
On the second round, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She sits out 1 turn.
Okay. and she comes back as Phoenix, as in
Uh-huh.
the front of her card.
Uh-huh.
This, I mean, we were discussing that the biggest problem with her is that she just dies, or like she blows herself up.
Yep.
This makes it so that she comes back. I think that's pretty interesting. I think this definitely makes her more playable. Brad, what do you think about this?
I went from convinced that she was trash and should never be played to this card makes her playable. I don't know that makes her
Okay.
particularly good, but I think that you're not crazy if you play her as long as you're playing this card. Like
Okay. All right. So,
best
like,
case
if you
best
bring
case scenario, you never need this card and she stays in the game the whole time and matters. But if you lose her, you're gonna get her back.
the do you think that this card almost boxes out the previous card? Like, if you're almost always bringing this card, does that?
Oh yeah, this
And
is you can't
Steven,
bring the other cards. You won't have room. This is the
right?
cards
As
you play.
Steven was saying, tactics cards are tight.
Yeah.
Maybe especially with X-Men, and this card is being one that you will take if you're playing Phoenix makes it so you almost never take the other one.
Correct. Yeah.
Steven,
Or
what
the
do you
one
think
we
about
knew
this?
a long time ago.
I don't think you take this card or Phoenix still. Because best case scenario is that she gets killed in round 2 or 3. She will not show up till 4 or 5, and the game is over before she even comes back.
Yep, that's my thought. Like,
this game is sped up quite a bit. So,
yeah, I feel like this means that on round 6 she will be back on the table sometimes, and the game will have been. I mean, maybe in a long attrition fight that will matter, and you get to bring her back at a key moment when you in the last round of the game. But man, oh man, it's most games are resolved by round 4 or 5. So
3 or 4. I mean,
yeah,
Criminal Syndicate
3.
goes really quick.
Yeah, Syndicate will finish it up real quick.
Web Warriors
right.
goes really quick.
I guess those are it. That's it.
If you've lost Phoenix and she hasn't done major damage to your opponent's game plan and slowed down the game, then you do deserve to lose before she comes back. She should, on her way out, cripple the enemy team.
Brad, I can't wait till somebody sees you have this card in your tactics and they kill Phoenix on round 5.
Well, that's fine. If she dies round 5, that means she's done so much work.
I'm just making it funny there. That's all.
All right, so that's it for all the new stuff. I think that's it for the news from AMG. I'll be a little bit honest. Like, they did not change a whole lot in this errata document. I mean, a couple characters changed quite a bit, but I was expecting a little bit more, I think.
We literally got more changes than they promised us. They promised us about a dozen, and there's like 16 of them, but it still doesn't feel like enough.
Right. There are quite a few characters that feel very old and outdated in their design, like Mr. Sinister and Sin. Sin really, like, if they're
Sin's not getting repackaged, so they didn't even look at her.
Right. That's what it is.
And then some might be getting repackaged late enough that they could still be looked at, like Magneto and She-Hulk. They've confirmed Sinister and the Sentinels are going to get changed. Like, people don't need to worry about those two.
But it's next year. It'll be a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for AMG news. let's move on to games that we've played recently. Man, that was a long segment. Okay, so I played a game this past Thursday. I know that Brad has a game that he can talk about, and Steven has a game. Steven, do you have 2 games that you can talk about?
2 games. Correct.
Why don't you do
Yes.
your first game now?
Okay. Well, unfortunately, the tournament in Concord did not fire off. So another person who was going to attend, Mary, she's up in Columbia, South Carolina. So I headed up there for the day, and we had a battle. And she brought her criminal syndicate list, which is kind of a terrifying list. And I brought my Hydra go have fun at the tournament list, and boy, did I get shellacked. So, but
Really?
yeah, I did. She's running Kingpin. We were playing on 18th threat. I honestly forget the scenarios because the game went by so quickly. Um, but in the end, she was running Juggernaut, Kingpin, Rhino, Bullseye under the new rules, and Black Cat, and it just scored so quick, and I just couldn't keep up. I mean, she scored 5 in the first on each of round 1 and round 2, and it was up 10-4 by that time, and things on my side were just getting keeled over because I was running my front list with Strucker and Zola, and the second Baron Zemo, the 4th threat, Bucky, and Red Skull, Master of the World, and just it, that list just doesn't keep up with what she was running. So, needless to say, the game ended when it was just kind of forlorn, and we had other people showing up, and lesson learned. It's just one of those things where she brought a very competitive list, and the list I had was, except for 3 characters that I had that were new. One of them very terrible, 2 of them very serviceable, and then 2 older characters. It just proves that there are some characters that need some help, and other characters that probably should be looked at. Is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah,
Specifically, Kingpin.
yeah. Kingpin's really he's really hard to play against.
I don't know if
All
you
right.
guys would agree, considering you have Brandon playing Kingpin there.
Yeah, Kingpin's really a menace. He's really a problem with his leadership.
I've been saying this for
All right,
years. Why are people just now jumping on board?
we've all known it. Okay. My game. Uh, I played against Brandon, and Brandon was playing his Dormammu list, which he played Dormammu, Carnage, uh, Black Panther, Chosen of Bast, and oh boy, another model that Captain Marvel, the 5 threat Captain Marvel. I was playing my new Web Warriors list, which I was playing Amazing Spider-Man, uh, Miles Morales, Venom, Agent Venom, and Spider-Woman. And so we were playing at 20 threat. This game is one that I made a few tactical errors that should have cost me the game, but Venom blew up on a couple very key rolls. I think that Venom at one point did something like 9 damage, or rolled 9 successes into Captain Marvel and just took her up, took her off the table. I've been toying with a fightier Web Warriors list, and man, I have been sleeping on Venom. Venom is so good. Like the Venom is just an absolute house, and I really enjoy playing him. especially under Amazing Spider-Man's leadership, where I can slow everyone down, and then on the all-webbed up turn, he just kills everything. I end up winning this game. I probably shouldn't have, because there was one point where what I needed to have done is activate Amazing Spider-Man and just run away, but I activated Venom because it is as Borka keeps saying, Fred sees red, and I activated Venom and killed Black Panther Chosen of Bast, which in a completely irrelevant moment. But I still ended up winning the game. I really like my list. I really like Venoms. That's all. That is it for the game that I played. Brad, tell me about your game.
I played against Borka. He was playing Asgard, which was not what I wanted to see considering what I brought. So I decided that I wanted to play the character Weapon X and Carnage at the same time. And I decided that the best way to do that was to play the affiliation Weapon X. So I ended up playing. It was Mutant Madman and the books, the Mystic books, which is not what I wanted to see. With
Oh, no, not as Weapon X.
and Carnage.
You're right.
So I played Carnage, X-23, Weapon X, Maverick, Nebula, Domino. He played Hela, Loki 2, Bill, Beta Ray Bill, and Mighty Thor. Loki was his leader. Borka keeps mentioning that he made, I don't remember the number, I think it's 4 mystic attacks into Carnage, and Carnage didn't daze.
Oh, man.
I mean, he didn't have any rerolls or anything, and Carnage just has so much health now. There was a point in the game where I got 2 flips on 3 dice needing 2 successes, and that ended up long-term winning me the game. Because that just put me ahead enough that round that I could just kind of win off of just the one side that I've already won. Borka did make a cool play at one point. I think I was gonna score 4, and he was gonna score, I don't know, some number. And then he played the card that let Mighty Thor activate again, and he took 2 of my points away from me, and then she scored, and then she KOs, because that's what the card says, that she KOs.
Mm-hmm.
So that kept the game probably going an extra turn, I think. But like, I don't know. It's just with the work Weapon X did, and then getting those flips, I ended up winning this game. Carnage way too late finally did something and dazed Hela. I got the frenzy so I could move up and grab the point she dropped, and then I moved away. And I also healed
Paint the town red.
Yeah, and I also healed like 5. I didn't have anyone to attack, but I still got to take his extract and heal like 5 damage. So
Right. Yeah.
it was worth it.
I watched most of this game, and there was one point. This is just a statement of how cool I think Loki 2 is. Domino started shooting. I think it wasn't even at Loki. I think it was at like Beta Ray Bill or something.
No, it was at Loki. It was at Loki.
It was at Loki?
Yeah.
Okay. Domino started shooting at Loki.
Because it mattered.
Domino rolled.
It mattered that he was counting my skulls.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Domino rolls, and I think you got the rapid trigger only once. but you ended up like doing 0 damage to Loki and taking 3 damage yourself
Yep.
from 2 of her rapid fire triggering attacks.
That's exactly
Just
what
because
happened.
of the what a pity.
I attacked Loki 3 times, did 0 damage to him and 3 damage to Domino. Yep. Yeah.
That's Loki for you. All right, Steven, do you have one more game to talk about?
Yes, I do. And that second game was against Mary, and she was running her criminals again. This time we were on 19 points because we had intrusions and the new 5-point extract, Terrigen Cannon, which is kind of significant.
Mm-hmm.
But I made a decision because she said, "Well, you brought your whole collection," because I usually do just in case other people show up. She goes, "Why don't you run something that's going to give us more of a game or a challenge?" I'm like, "Okay." So of course I brought my spider foes, and they came out, and I'm like, Usually on 19 threats I run Goblin and 5 3s. But I'm like, no, I'm going to do something different. And this is where I pulled out Carnage and Venom and Goblin and Electro and Little Doc Ock. So that's what I went with. She went with Juggernaut, Rhino, Kingpin again, Black Cat again, and then she switched Bullseye for Spectacular Spider-Man. So I was like, this is going to work out well in my favor. I know she's going to score quickly because it's criminals, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure my attrition can catch up. The significant thing about her list is that, except for Kingpin's laser cane, she has all physical attacks.
Right. No energy attacks at all.
So I'm like,
Or
this
Mystic.
is a Carnage scenario if I've ever seen one. So So, needless to say, I mean, the score was close. It was she went up like 5-3, and then we scored like 4-4 in the next round. But during this time, Goblin, Dazed, Dazed Spider-Man, Carnage had done significant damage to Black Cat. Electro was holding a canister. Doc Ock was holding a canister. Venom went to the middle to meet Kingpin and Rhino. Kingpin and Juggernaut, excuse me. And Rhino was on the other flank with Electro, which was fine. But the intrusions proved useful because I was just putting Carnage through them, and he went off. He would go through, daze somebody, come. He took out Kingpin by himself, dazed him, and then on the next round he was surrounded by Black Cat, Juggernaut, and Kingpin, and in one roll I did the maximum carnage, and I did 7 damage to Kingpin, and she had to spend power to prevent him from going off the board. I mean, that's how significant that was. So, just a whole lot of, and of course, I did well laid plans with Doc and Goblin. I mean, it's my attrition caught up with her. Venom was significant in doing his snapbacks and killing people. Goblin leadership was kind of significant. So Doc's, throwing size 2 was important for Black Cat. And then, Electro is Electro. Maybe he was the only piece that really didn't perform that well. So that's fine. Maybe I do something else, but definitely this was a good criminal counter. So I ended up winning 19-13 on this one. So
okay,
it was pretty big.
So Carnage
All
did,
her models
did a
were-
lot.
All her models were dead except for Juggernaut by the end.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it was, he was pretty significant. I mean, I did surprise webhead to get 4 attacks in 1 round on him, and then I did Carnage, the attack part. I forget. There will be Carnage. No, Carnage rules. Excuse me. To do another 4 attack round, and then he was doing 3 attacks quite significantly. So I mean, the only damage that Carnage ever got was the damage he did on himself with Paint the Town Red. So
With sadistically.
Sadistically, excuse me, yeah. So he's a mess.
You had a great Carnage game. That always feels amazing.
Well, she ran Juggernaut away because he was the only model, and I was about to play custom upgrades on Carnage against Juggernaut. So
hey Steven, you're breaking up pretty bad. I was having trouble hearing you.
I was saying that I was going to Juggernaut was the last model left, correct? And I was going to play custom upgrades on Carnage to go after Juggernaut then. So
just to finish off everything that she had.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Well, good job, Steven. I'm always happy to see Spider Foes doing well. That's it for the games that we've played recently. Usually we would do trivia, but this episode is going long, so we're gonna skip it today. Let's move on to the character that we are here to discuss. That character being Exodus, and of course, I have White Hot Room pulled up on my Cerebro app. Daggone it. Okay, Exodus, where are you? Exodus is in the Brotherhood of Mutants affiliation, and his Exodus, otherwise known as Bennet du Paris. His defenses are 4, 4, and 4. He has 7 stamina on both sides of his card. He has a threat value of 5. He is a size 2 and a medium mover. And Brad, why don't you go over his attacks?
His first attack is a mystic attack called Psionic Vampirism. It's range 2, 6 dice, cost 0. Gain power equal to damage dealt. If after the attack is resolved, this character removes 1 damage from itself. It doesn't have to do damage to do that. And has wild sap power. Before damage, they lose power for each wild in attack roll, and Exodus gains that much power. His second attack is also mystic, Psionic Concussion. It's range 4, 5 dice, costs 0, gains 1 power, and has a wild pull. After damage is dealt, size 4 or less may push it towards this character's short. His last attack is Energy. You can do nothing but fall. Area 2, 7 dice. It costs 4. After each attack is resolved, the target character gains the Incinerate special condition.
All right. Steven, why don't you do... Oh boy, there's a lot left on the card. Why don't you finish off the card?
Okay. Well, hopefully I'm not going to fade out. So, an active superpower called My Faith can move mountains. This character, it will cost you X power, so you can spend as much as you want up as what you have. This character may spend up to 4 power to use this superpower. Use an interactive terrain feature within 3, size equal to or less than the power spent. Through the chosen terrain feature medium, superpower can be used only once per turn. Teleportation, place this character, this is an active superpower, will cost you 3. Place this character within 2 of itself. The superpower can be used only once per turn. Next, we have Telekinetic Shield, which will cost you 2. When this character or an allied character within 3 of this character is targeted by an attack, this character may use the superpower. Add 2 dice to the target's defense roll against this attack. The superpower can be used only once per turn. And then an innate superpower called Psionic of the highest order. During the power phase, this character will gain 1 additional power. And his other innates are Flight, Healing Factor 1, and immunity to poison.
Okay, that is Exodus. On first blush, I really like this character. I like everything that he brings. He seems, he's got a little bit of everything in a good way. Brad, what do you think about Exodus? About his kit?
It is very weird how similar he is to Gable.
He is very similar to Cable. You're right.
He's got a place.
He-
It costs one more. He's got the telekinetic shield. He's got a pay for the size of the terrain throw. Like all his super gain an extra power. All his superpowers are very similar. His attacks not so much, but his superpowers
Right.
are very similar, which is not a bad place to be. Like Cable is a good character. Like mimicking him is good. The thing that
Mm-hmm.
Exus does different than Cable, the big thing is how much he heals. So if you do 2 builders and then healing factor, he heals possibly 3 a turn, which is
I think it's guaranteed 3. There's
it
no
is.
trigger.
No,
You,
no, no. Yeah,
don't
you
have.
don't have to do anything except make those choices.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you have to make that choice, but then you just get it. In addition to that, he can, with that power, end up generating a lot of power doing that to then use the rest of his kit well. Like, I think this is one of those characters that he doesn't really want to do his spender, and he doesn't really want to do his other free attack unless he's forced to.
I don't know. Yeah, I think he does it when he's farther away,
Yeah,
and then he pulls them towards him.
when he's forced to, he'll do that attack. But he really just wants to do his basic builder and his
Right.
superpowers. And that's it. And
So in that way, he is again like Cable.
yeah, that's true. That is what Cable wants to do.
Uh-huh.
This guy also has just a ton of health. He's 7/7. So with the health and the healing, and he can use the one card, the healing factor card, to heal himself 2. Sorry, heal himself 2 if he gets hit hard
Mm-hmm.
for 1 attack. I think he's gonna be hard to take down, which is fun, I guess.
As well as him having that defensive tech. That defensive tech and his defensive stats are 4, 4, and 4, which is excellent.
Yeah.
So if with that, if he spends 2 power, he's rolling 6 defense on whatever he's being attacked by, which is maybe more than your opponent is rolling. Quick question: that reactive superpower specifies once per turn. Is Cable's once per turn, or is Cable's? Can you do it as many times as you want?
I don't think Cables is once per turn, but I'll double check. Wow.
Right.
Maybe we hear from Steve.
Yeah. Okay,
No,
Steven,
no,
what do
wait.
you think? What do you think about this guy?
I don't know where you take him, honestly.
Do you mean like? I mean, I think he definitely has a place in Brotherhood of Mutants. I think that's his spot. Is he could play as a 5-threat beater in a Mystique list. Oh, but like Mystique likes to go wide.
But Mystique has Juggernaut for that too.
Yeah.
They have different game plans for different scenarios. I think it's scenario dependent. And to answer the question, no, Cables is not once per turn.
Okay. So do you think there's just not a place for this guy in the game right now?
It's not that he won't see play, but I mean, I look at him and I'm not excited. There's not anything on the card that says, "Ooh, do this. Ooh, do that." You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
He's not flashy. He is. I think that he does what he wants to do though, which is get in the fight and stay there. I think he's an attrition piece, and a pretty good one.
He's a
he's
a workhorse, not a racehorse.
Right.
Well, the other thing is like he's the least exciting of the characters that are coming in that box to me. Foreshadowing what we're going to do next week, obviously,
Okay.
and I think Avalanche has a lot more upside than he does, especially as a 3-threat. So,
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think this guy. I like this guy more than I like Avalanche.
I wanna
no, I like it.
I wanna say something, but we need to do his tactics cards before I can make that point.
Okay. All right. Let me pull up his tactics cards real quick. It's just the one, right? Is it just genetic superiority? Brad, are you there?
There's another card that's relevant. Hold on.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
showing you. There's also the pawns go first is relevant, but let's start with genetic superiority.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Genetic superiority. It is a Brotherhood of Mutants reactive tactics card. When this card is included in your squad, if your squad includes Max Eisenhart and Exodus, you may play this card. Max Eisenhart being Magneto. When this card is played, set it near the battlefield instead of discarding it. Once per turn, when an allied character with threat value 4 or less suffers 1 or more damage from an enemy effect, choose an allied Brotherhood of Mutants character with threat value 5 or greater within range 5. The chosen character gains 1 power. This is almost like an addition to the leadership. This is like
It sure is.
the problem is that you're already 11 deep in threat to do this, and that means that you have however up to 9 more threat total that it could possibly be of characters that can trigger this effect, which is fine. I think this effect is good. Does it get a tactics card slot? I don't know.
I think if you're at high threat and you're like me and really want to play Magneto and Exodus together, then yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fair. Steven, what do you think?
I just I don't know enough about playing Magneto to make a comment on this card. The one thing I will say is that I can see Brad's new mutant threat Magneto being Exodus, Magneto, Juggernaut, and Colossus. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you wouldn't play this card if you were doing that, but
yeah, because there would only be
list.
Colossus to trigger it.
Yeah. This card and the thought of playing Magneto and Exodus together makes me miss Ease now.
Oh yeah. Because that would be built for them. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, there's another one that is relevant, and it is called The Pawns Go First. It is a Brotherhood of Mutants reactive tactics card. During the end phase, any number of allied Brotherhood of Mutants characters with a threat value of 3 or less may pay 1 power to play this card. Each character that played this card may choose an allied Brotherhood of Mutants character with a threat value of 5 or greater within range 3 and choose one of the following options below. Resolve each option completely before choosing the next. Advance short towards the chosen character. Remove 1 damage and 1 special condition from the chosen character, or the chosen character gains 1 power. This goes with the previous card, like having a lot of dinky people with threat value 5 people. Yeah. I think this card has a lot of play in Mystique Brotherhood because you don't have to have Magneto to trigger it.
No, you don't have to have
this
anyone
could be
specific.
Right, this could be Exodus or Juggernaut.
Just so it's completely clear, the abilities are move the 3 threat towards a 5 threat. The 5 threat heals and gains a special condition, or loses a special condition, sorry. Or the 5 threat gains 1 power.
Right. That is an important distinction.
I did misread it the first time and thought I could use this to advance Magneto back into the fight. And you cannot do
that. Yeah. Okay, what are your thoughts on this one, Brad?
I like this. I think this one's going to see more play than the last one, obviously, because you're not locked into 11 points. And you're almost always going to have at least one 5 threat or higher in your list. Whether that's Juggernaut, Exodus, Magneto, somebody's going to be there to activate this.
Shadow King.
Sure. Shadow King.
More likely Scarlet Witch, but whatever. And I don't even think you play Scarlet Witch anymore.
She's really good though. But okay, Steven, what do you think about this card?
No, I agree with Brad. That's a lot of utility. Free movement, free power.
Yeah. Get rid of stagger off of a 5 threat model. Huge.
Correct, yeah.
That's pretty
Huge. Yeah, a very good tactics card, I think. Probably will get played in Brotherhood. There's a helicopter flying overhead. Sorry if you can hear that. All right. Brad, you were gonna say something about Exodus after discussing the tactics cards.
Oh yeah. I really love the idea of playing Exodus and Magneto together. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know if that's any good, but I'm gonna try it and I'm gonna find out because I'm excited.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you'd like to add, Steven, about Exodus in general?
Well, if Brad's going to play Exodus and Magneto, he's got to watch out for Clea Doctor Strange in their
Yeah.
Judgment
Oh, yeah.
X.
That's my worst nightmare.
All right. Okay, let's give this guy a letter grade. So I think Exodus is pretty dang solid. I think that he's as Brad said, a workhorse for an attrition build of Brotherhood. He can get in the fight and stay in the fight. Pretty good. He will heal himself. He will beat people up. I like the kit that he brings. I think Steven is also correct. There's nothing on here that's like really blows your hair back, but I think that he does enough good to justify being a 5 threat model. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a B. A solid B. Brad, what are you going to give to Exodus?
I'm a little higher than that. I think a B plus. Like his superpowers, like the utility of those are just so good. Like he's got a good throw. He's got the extra defensive dice. He's got ways to make the power to fund those. He's not spending those on attacks. I think he's just gonna work.
Okay, and Steven, what do you think about Exodus?
I'm at a B plus also, just for the fact that his suite of attacks are both energy and mystic, so that's good for him. And his superpower suite is very you want to have it, you don't want to dismiss it. So
right. So that puts me as the lowest grade. That's not okay. Hold on. I may adjust my grade in this case. I may say that I'm gonna move it up to a B plus. I thought I was hedging my bets here with a B, but all right.
No, Exodus is good.
I am up on Exodus. I like him. I like what he does. Okay, Brad, do you have any comic book recommendations that feature Exodus?
I sure do. So Exodus premiered in the 90s, and most of his important stories are from the 90s. He has shown up in comics since, but he's never been the major player he used to be. So all of my comic recommendations are 90s comics. Love them or hate them, whatever. That's what they are. The first one is a single issue. It's called Black Knight Exodus. It's Ben Robb and Jim Chung. And this is the story of time-displaced Dane Whitman. For Ed, who's Dane Whitman?
No idea.
That's the Black
Knight.
No
clue.
That's the Black Knight. He was
okay.
In a movie I'm pretty sure you saw.
Is it Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
No. I mean Marvel's Black Knight. You saw Eternals, didn't you?
I did see Eternals.
He was
yes.
Jon Snow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cersei of the Eternals. So these two accidentally, they get time displaced, and they accidentally kill the Black Knight of the Crusades, like Dane Whitman's. They kill him mentally. It's Dane Whitman's
They
like
kill him mentally?
yeah. They make him brain dead, and Dane Whitman's mind goes in
Oh.
his body. I
Okay.
I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, it's Dane's ancestor. And very strongly implied to be Exodus's lover.
Okay.
And then the three of them, Black Knight, Cersei, and Exodus, run afoul of Apocalypse. And this is basically Exodus's origin story, because there's nothing about him before this. And it kind of shows how he was back then. It kind of shows how he ends up the way he is when his lover dies. His best friend dies. And it also explains how he gets trapped in a cave until modern times. So this is Exodus's origin story.
Okay. All right.
Next,
Yeah, because Exodus is a crusading knight who
he is, who has
who
pink skin for some reason. No, that
right.
the pink skin is Apocalypse's fault, if I'm remembering the story.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But like he got transposed through time to the modern era
The slow way.
and is now. Oh. Okay.
Like
he
no,
waited.
he literally sat in that cave for hundreds of years
Oh well, that sucks.
until
Never mind.
Magneto lets him out. No, it's slow time travel.
Okay. He did it the old-fashioned way.
Yep.
Well, all right then. What is the next comic?
The next is Avengers X-Men Blood Ties. This is a big crossover, so it's lots of different issues, but you can just look up Blood Ties and you can find it. And there are a lot of writers and artists who worked on this because it was the 90s, so I'm not going to list all those, but if you were paying attention to Marvel Comics in the 90s, you probably know who some of these people are. Anyway, this is the story about Fabian Cortez. Fred, who's that?
I don't know. Who's Fabian Cortez?
So
I have no idea.
Fabian Cortez is a guy who has the powers to amplify other mutant powers and was Magneto's right-hand man for a while until Exodus took that position. So
Okay. And this is turning into an ersatz trivia game that you're doing every single time you say a character and say who's that.
So Fabian Cortez kidnaps Luna. I'm just going to tell you who that is, Fred. You can relax. That is the daughter of Quicksilver and the granddaughter of Magneto.
Okay.
All right. So he does this because he thinks Magneto's really mad at him and is going to come after him, and he's going to like use this little child as a shield.
Okay.
What Fabian doesn't know is Magneto's been out of it for a while, and Exodus has been lying to everyone, just saying that the orders are coming from him. So,
Okay.
instead of Magneto coming after Fabian, much worse, Exodus comes after Fabian. Quicksilver also asks his friends in the Avengers and X-Men to help get his daughter back. That's reasonable. The problem is Fabian is hiding out in the middle of a mutant-human civil war in Genosha. And Exodus's plan is to kill Fabian. Reasonable. And to go ahead and kill Luna because you can't have Magneto's granddaughter be a human.
Oh no. What?
So that's Exodus' plan.
Oh no, Exodus.
To kill
No.
the baby too. Well, she's like a little kid, but to kill this little girl because she's a human.
Exodus is such a crazy. His morality is insane.
Yeah,
Like,
he was a creator who replaced God and Jesus with mutants.
right.
But he didn't change the Crusader part. He just changed what he's fighting for.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then he found another Messiah, but that's much later.
Right.
And we're
Yeah.
not going to talk about that today. Just because she happened to actually be the Messiah of mutants is beside the point. I got one more story featuring Exodus for today, and it's X-Men 42 through 44 called The Fall of Avalon. It's by Fabian Nicieza and Paul Smith. And Holocaust, who is the son of Apocalypse from the Age of Apocalypse, a universe in which Professor X is killed, and the shock of him dying wakes Apocalypse up early, who takes over North America and rules it with an iron fist, and Magneto forms the X-Men. Anyway, when that's all fixed, Holocaust comes back to the main universe. And Exodus senses that this is really bad and that he's going to destroy everything. So Exodus sends all of his minions against Holocaust, and they lose. They all die. It's terrible. And then Holocaust kind of destroys Avalon, which is the space base that Magneto and the Acolytes were living on. And the X-Men are there when it's breaking apart, and them and the Acolytes teleport to safety, and then they have to work together after that. But Exodus is a major player in this story.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Brad, for those comic book recommendations. The only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. I'm gonna make this one pretty quick. Doom: The Dark Age came out recently, and it's about a crusader fighting against hell, and it's a lot of fun. The plot is irrelevant. It is just an action game that is a lot of fun to play. They really nail the action in this, in all of these Doom games. And since Doom 2016, the action has been outstanding. So if you like just an action game, play Doom: The Dark Age.
And then watch Doom the movie with The Rock.
Oh boy, don't do that. That movie's terrible. That movie is really bad. It may be The Rock's worst movie, and that's saying something.
But it has that cool 10 minutes of first person shooter at the end. That's worth
Sure.
That's worth it just that right there. They don't do that in movies.
All right. Thank you all for joining.
One movie that's way better where the whole movie is in first person.
Oh, it's Hardcore Henry?
Hardcore
Is
Henry.
that it?
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That movie was a lot of fun. I did enjoy that movie. Okay. All right. I will thank you all for joining me. This has been a long one. So let's cut it off short. Goodbye, everyone.